I'm Jamila Norman. I'm the farmer and owner of Patrick City Farms in Atlanta, Georgia. I've always had an interest for just sort of like being outdoors in nature, which is weird being from New York, but when I moved to the South and I just kind of saw sort of like how people were eating and just sort of like a little bit more health problems around like kind of obesity and diabetes and things like that, it just was like for me, like what is the simplest thing and most direct thing I can do to address that? And it was like farming. So there's a lot of green space in the city landscape, so it was just like perfect. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it. The legacy of farming in the South, especially among people of color, has just been very, it's a painful history. And a lot of people just kind of wanted to get away from that, so they didn't engage their kids, or their kids, went off to go get a job in the city. There's not much of a future here, so we realize there's definitely a generation gap in that way. But then there are people like me, and then there's like a whole new crop of young farmers that are really excited. We have multiple growers here in the West End, which is also a neighborhood with a lot of low access issues, low income. So, that's definitely my motivation for being here in this community, living in this community, and making sure that I grow in this community. So, and the community's really embraced it. And for me, the best part is when like the older people come out and they're like just like transformed on the farm, and they're just so excited and happy, and they really encourage me to keep doing what I'm doing. So that gives me life. And being in an urban space, you meet a lot of people, and a lot of people come out and want to help. So I've been fortunate enough to have people that come out pretty much every Saturday to help me. That's my biggest and most challenging days, when I'm harvesting and prepping everything for market. So they come out, help me out on the farm, and they get to learn because they're interested in learning themselves and growing for their family. So it's a really win-win situation. One of the challenges we used to have was watering. I mean, we would hook up hoses to this fire hydrant and rent a meter from the city, and then fill up like 20, 200-gallon tanks, and then get a pump and water. But then, we got in touch with USDA, and we got a grant to put in a well. So they came in and we dug a 250-foot well. And then after we dug the well, we also got a grant from them to do drip irrigation. So the whole farm, we've got drip lines through the whole farm. So that's definitely made things much easier, and all of the beds are covered with drip line, and we just run the system, and it's awesome. So it's definitely helped our farm a lot. People always ask me, why do I farm and what do I like about it? Do you ever just get lonely being out here by yourself, or just, afraid being by yourself? And I'm like, actually, no. It's like, it's very zen, to just be out on the farm, to just do what you do. You plant, stuff comes up, exciting. I love pulling carrots. I love digging potatoes. I love all the root crops. And I feel like I have immediate results on the farm. You put a seed in the ground, 3 days later it's sprouting, so you're all excited. And then, a couple of weeks go by, and then it's bigger, and then you get a fruit, and you get your harvest, and then you're pulling it and you're going to market. So just the process is very like renewing, and just, it's like giving birth like a million times. And it's awesome. So, I love it. The most exciting part, definitely for me, about farming and what kind of keeps me going is when I go to market, and I get to display everything that I've grown, and it's all pretty, and people are excited, and they're happy to see you, and they're buying your produce, and I feel like a little rock star, and I have that interaction with people. That's the feedback of like all the hard work in the field, and you go interact. It's great. So that's what keeps me going. The legacy of farming, definitely, here in this country, started off as slavery for black people. But, beyond that, even after that, and even after people were, emancipated, you still had over 1 million black farmers, and, people still wanted to be farmers, even coming from that legacy and that history. And, unfortunately, through policies and just, Jim Crow era and sharecropping laws and everything like that, people have had to move away and they couldn't maintain their land. So for me, it's kind of like picking up that torch of where it kind of got left off and, getting back out there. And also, my family, my family's Caribbean. My great-grandmother grew food and my great-grandfather, in Jamaica. And that's what they did. That was their livelihood. So, got a chance to really know her and meet her, and she lived to 102, doing that. So, just kind of carrying the torch of my family. So, that's kind of what that's what it means to me. I just know I have to do it, and so I'll keep doing it until I can't do it anymore.